Daily Devotionals for October 17th. Today's scripture will be Mark 7, verse 54. And when they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him. Now, let me recap here. Jesus had just walked on the water. Of course, the disciples were afraid. The wind stopped. And now he says to them, be of good cheer. Don't be afraid. It is I. And so they come to the land, and now they see him. It says, when they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him. I believe Jesus is coming out of that boat, and people are going to recognize him. Okay? Right after that, as soon as they saw him, people ran, brought the sick people to him, and laid them at his feet, and he healed them. I think Jesus is stepping out of that boat. We've had him tied up in that boat for a long time, but he is coming out. He is stepping out, and people, the power of God is going to touch the people, and they are going to flock to him. Now, it is Christ in us, the hope of glory. I believe there's a wave of holiness that is going to touch this nation and the nations abroad. Okay, it's the holiness of God, the fear of the Lord that is going to come to the church, and not just the church. We've got to remember, we are the church. We need to be taking that holiness of God wherever we are, okay? When we step out of the boat, when we step out in faith, okay, he is going to meet us there, and he's going to do the work. You just stand by and let God be God, okay? But it's time that he comes out of the boat. You need to step out in faith and do what God is calling you to do. Have no fear of man, okay? Remember, the disciples, they were afraid. Here it says that they didn't even recognize or understand what had happened after the feeding of the 5,000. This was like right after that. They didn't understand it, They were very dull disciples. But they paved a way for us that now we can see the error that they had, their unbelief. Remember, he would say to them, "O ye of little faith." Well, in this time and all these years that have passed, should we not have greater faith than they did? They were right there with Jesus and had little faith, but they were learning. And through example, you can read the scriptures and you can see how their faith grew, and yours must also. Step out of the boat, step out of faith, and let God be God. Let him do the greater works through you that he's called you to do. Okay? It is time. All right. Till tomorrow. Be blessed.